gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Nerd a Day podcast. I'm your host, Carlos, and I am here because this is part two of episode 75 of the Apron Work podcast. This is my
Yes,
co host, Michael Respass. Respass, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. And
You
I'm
are you are the
so happy to
second
be here.
host. Yeah, you're second guest I've had on Nerd a Day. I had previously Dio when we were showing off the PlayStation 5 when he received his.
Yes.
And then a
Yeah.
year and a half later, I got mine. But yeah, so we are doing that.
I'm
I'm doing
I'm
some stuff on the fly,
yeah.
OBS and Discord style. So visually, this made that I saw a weird hiccup where I looked like I was turning into Agent Smith from The Matrix. Who knows? But yeah, at the top of the episode, like as I mentioned, this is part two of Apron Works 75th episode because we are going to be discussing WWE 2K22. One of the trailers came out today. Some box art leaked earlier in the week, which we now have confirmation on some stuff. And I want to go through all the different versions. I'll link down below also someone else who does a really good video about it. His name's Matt over at Assemble. He does all 2K stuff. And then also put Mark stuff because he does 2K creations. He's really excited about this. Even though he has more follows than me. You should send some over this way, Mark. Come on, man. We used to do a podcast together. Come on, man. Come on, Mark. But yeah, so quickly, let's go. Rest. What we're gonna do is this is funny. I keep calling you Rest because of Mecca. No,
Yeah. It's the
it's
point. I think Alex Kane said the same thing. He said rest or resp, and I'm like, dude, I've never had people say it. I'm okay with
only
it,
things
I
like 30
guess.
years. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, this really works. Why didn't no one
And
pick this up?
you know what it is, and I bet I'm pretty sure because they don't know me. And when I started, I say with Carlos and Respass. Like I don't say Mike.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I feel like they like decide like, hey, I don't, he clearly doesn't want to be called Mike.
Yeah.
Um, but then they probably don't want to butcher my last name, so they just say Resp.
That's fair. That is fair. So yeah, what we're gonna do first to start this episode of Nerd Day. I'm not sure what episode number it is. It's not gonna be 50 because that's with Greg Miller, which I'll get to at the end of this video. We are gonna do. We're gonna watch the trailer because Pass, you have not watched the new trailer
I've
for
not.
2K 2022 with Tim the Tap Man. So hopefully there's no copyright things. I'm gonna share my screen. You are seeing a little behind the scenes stuff, and it probably should be prettier, but I'm a dummy. Go live. Alrighty, and then we're gonna full screen this. Click on here. We're gonna hide our faces, and then I have something funny else to show you. As you can see, one of these are on here. So, let's go over and yep, here we go. And just to make sure,
This is your intro.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I ramble a lot.
Okay. No, no,
If
no, no. I'm saying you're the video you're on right now.
oh oh, am I? Oh God, yeah. Let's not do that. That's for a secret at another time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you had it set up because you said you were going to show me before the
I
episode.
did,
And then,
yeah. I'll
yeah.
do that at the end now, because I'm an idiot. I'm
It
an
could have
idiot.
been a little spoiler here.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm a big old dum dum. Um, what? Oh my God. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to figure something out that I totally forgot that I should have started beforehand. But this is why you tune into Nerder Day. It's a chaos incarnate.
Yeah. And for
Um,
those of you coming from Apron Work, you know that
it's just
you know
yeah, it's just
it
chaos. That's all it is.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so we're gonna grab this in a little bit. You know what? Let's do this. There we go. Theater mode it and grab it in a little bit because I have a weird screen. This is how the bread and butter gets made, ladies and gentlemen. This is my intro. We're not watching that yet. What we will be watching is this, as I mentioned. So for audio listeners, I just pantomime as much as I can, and for video watchers, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Sorry about how shitty that looked. Here we go. It's Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
So we go March 11th. In pre-order, you get 3 playable versions of Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let me switch back on OBS to at least show us. um, and we'll do that real quick. Transition and damn, let me stop sharing my screen and boom. Magically, we're back here. I'm Agent Smith again, apparently. Um, so initial thoughts, man. Oh, what the hell is going on? It doesn't show on the preview, so hopefully it's not coming up that bad. It's so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, it's not on mine now. Clearly, I'm not
Yeah, I
recording.
don't know.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like we're
um,
like phasing in and out.
is it? It. Yeah. All right. All right. So it's my reaction, right? And
Yeah, man. Let's
boom, that.
yeah, I
Um,
want to hear. Yeah.
I don't know how you felt about it. I don't know how excited that made you. The
Um
one thing I will say about WWE, especially since they've been with 2K, is their trailers for the game are always awesome. I always love the extras to it. I think it was cool that they shown the game being developed by wrestlers, and that's
yeah.
great. And I feel like that has a little bit of the AEW game coming out, and they feel like they need to show like, hey, we got the wrestlers involved in ours too.
Yeah.
You know, they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just at a bar fighting or at some restaurant.
Or whoever like I they famously there's like a big independent wrestler that would be contracted by Ukes or 2K at this point and just do all the moves.
Yeah,
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 they're showing like Big E and Bobby Lashley hit each other. It was like
yeah.
it's
But
cute.
like,
It's like
yeah,
weird. It's cute. It's like you play around. It reminded me a lot of the. Do you remember the Super Bowl commercial for WWE with or WWF at the time where they're like in the corporate offices and like Kane's
yeah,
like at the
yeah.
water cooler and shit. Like yeah, dumb stuff like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah, no, they do that part well. The problem is the little bit of the gameplay we seen, which wasn't a whole lot.
no,
Um,
and you know what? It's funny. This is my third time watching it, and you know, being on the computer, like I'm closer to see it. So I like watched more of it, right? And it to me gave me an air of like I think we were seeing two different versions.
yeah, I
You
would say
know,
that
it seemed inconsistent.
some of it looked I mean I don't know, current gen, next gen, past gen, whatever you want
It
to
looked
call
like
it.
both. Yeah, it looked like
Some of it looked
PS5 and
past
PS4
gen.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what like some of it looked that way. Um, they still have the same issues to me from what I've seen because John Cena looked more PS5
Yes.
than
Yes, he
PS4.
did.
But
Ultimate Warrior looked horrible.
yeah, it was Alexa Bliss when she got tackled. She had the same hair issue that they've had with every game.
Yeah.
That still not
That
100% sure
that
why they
section
can't.
with Bianca and Rhea. And now this is the thing. It in my head not an issue if you clarify, right?
Right.
If you go into and show like hey, this footage that you're seeing right now is captured on PS5 or Xbox Series X or S, right?
Yeah,
And
or
then this footage is captured on
or
PS4
you could
because it's cross gen.
at the very least put a disclaimer on there and say some some are from this, some are from that.
Yeah,
Like, just give the heads up.
yeah,
But it's possible it's not. And that's the problem. Is if you have Alexa Bliss looking PS4-ish and John Cena looking PS5-ish, it's gonna look like I feel like it is that because John Cena I wouldn't say necessarily look better. but he looked more
there's
high
some
def.
images.
He looked more high def. Like when they showed his face, he looked more high def. But it's the same issues I've seen with older games. John Cena looks a little boxy up in the arms.
Yeah, you know
And
what?
even though he's high def, he still has that same arm look that I didn't necessarily like before. Uh, it looked like that McIntyre thing that everybody got upset about. They like purposely did not have that close up of his face. Like they backed off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through some images right here, and then uh bear with me, video watchers, because it looks like we're all cropped out out of nowhere. But yeah, I'm gonna go through just some of this real quick because I thought this was pretty interesting. Um, and actually, no, I think this would work out. I'm gonna transition back over here. Just so you at least see our faces on the screen, and rest, you'll be able to watch this. Oh yeah, here we'll just do this. We'll transition to that. So you're not seeing this right now, but I'm showing rest all the images. So this is the gallery. This
Yeah.
is taken from, I believe, I'm on the X. So this is Xbox One version, right? I currently have up for 2K in the Microsoft Store. There is obviously it's cross gen. So you can get a you know Xbox Series X or Series S or PS5 version. But these are some of the images they have in the store. So we have Asuka here. Um, and then moving on, we have Shinsuke. Then I see like the
Okay.
Shinsuke
That looks
one, Roman. Now, to me, I bet you this is indicative more of the Series X PlayStation
right.
5 version. Macho Man, looks good. This is the Cena one we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It looks like close to. I want to say because I was raving about it on a video that would be coming out shortly about my games I played in 2021. The Matrix Awakens had like a next gen playable demo you could play. It's like a what this is what the future good games could look like.
Right.
He seems similar to that. Here we go. We got Bobby Lashley. Now see, Lashley's face seems a little off to me, just ever so slightly off.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, he seems a little off there. Now, chat can see it, or video. Pardon me, can see it. But yeah, so we have Cena, um, KO.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's the eyes. Now this seems a little
Yeah.
more PS4 ish. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then
I don't.
you get to Roman here. Roman looks. I think Roman looks pretty good.
Rome. He looks like
Sheamus
Cena.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think he might be the best. Other than Shinsuke and Sheamus, might be the two.
Yeah, and here's the Rock.
Legends are always hard
Yeah,
because they're not. They don't
you have
want
to get him
them to
from a
look.
specific time frame, right? The Rock has
Yeah.
that Brahma Bull's covered up now.
Hmm.
Um, And let me just switch back over in OBS to us, so where the talking head
Yeah.
section.
I would. I don't. Whoever put that Kevin Owens picture out there for gallery
Oh,
should.
it's horrible. Yeah,
They should, should
it's
lose their.
it's legitimately horrible.
Yeah. They're
Um,
hiring the wrong people because that.
yeah, like it's bad. It's really bad. And then so that is just some imagery we wanted to go over. The trailers seem cute. It's coming out March 11th, and now going over some of the details of the game itself. Apparently it says right here, like I'm reading a Game Informer article written by Marcus Stewart from November 18th of last year. Just going over some of the details because this is the early stuff. I think we talked about it in our Apron Work podcast episode that was available. There's my GM mode,
Mhm.
universe mode, 2K showcase mode, um, my faction, my rise, and creation suites. And then lastly, at the time, this is the confirmed from the two trailers that we've seen. This was the what we saw roster wise, which is interesting to me. So AJ Styles, Apollo Cruz, Austin Theory, Bailey, Bianca Belair, Big E, Bobby Lashley. Pardon me, that's about to sneeze. Cesaro, Chad Gable, Dolph Ziggler, Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Edge, Finn Balor, Goldberg from WCW, Jeff Hardy. There's the first outlier. Jeff Hardy's gone. Joaquin Wild, Kane, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, The Miz, Montez Ford, Mustafa Ali, MVP, Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, outlier number two, Seth Rollins, Shayna Baszler, Sheamus, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Tamina, and Tyler Bate. So only 2 of those so far not with WWE.
Right.
But so many 80 people got released last year. That's the interesting thing. So I don't know how much time lead up that we have. I
Yeah.
want to see more of the next gen stuff, and not only because I have next gen, like I just want to see what that kind of looks like. They're touting it's going to be like 60 frames per second,
Right.
ultra high def, graphics, 4K graphics. Um and that's all well and good. I would expect that from a more modern game, I guess, in this era now that we're into the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and our PCs are running like 3090s.
Yeah.
I expect that. I just I don't care as much as that as long as it plays right, right? And I think
Yeah.
this game above anyone needs a demo of some sort in the
Mhm.
PlayStation, PC, on Steam, PlayStation Store, and Xbox, the Microsoft Store. This needs a demo that you can get your hands on to see, because I don't want to make the monetary commitment that you need to make for this if it's not good, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's kind of what Madden and other sports games, honestly, has been for years. They take pictures, they show you, hey, this is gameplay. And then when you get it, you're like, what was the all these still shots that you showed me
Yeah.
that was like, because that's not what this looks like. And then especially with the wrestling game, you want the flow of it. I will take um lesser graphics
Yeah.
if the gameplay smooth. And honestly, WWE over the last bunch of years, I know they didn't have one last year. Um, their 2K games have been as buggy can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I've
that
just
speaks to like the pressure that Ukes had previously, like they've been like under the grind for so long, and just churning out the same thing over and over and over again, not
right,
taking a little bit of a break. Um, and I feel like, and I think you're right. Like I think the Maddenization of it, I guess it's not really a word, obviously, but like kind of treating it more like Madden, where it's a yearly title, was a
yeah,
hindrance to SmackDown. Like the 06-07 SmackDown versus Raw era, like Here Comes the Pain. We always talk about the No Mercy. Like there's a lineage that goes through, but there are some games that don't like necessarily hit. But at the time, I mean, I was buying every game. Like every year I was
yeah,
buying the game. Um and spending hours creating my character, going through this and doing all this other stuff. But it's been a few years, and this is the one that I hope that they get right for so many people. Like I didn't know, just to pimp him out again. Like Mark has a whole it's like 500 subscribers. He does weekly episodes recapping the year in like 1990 with created wrestlers. He does like
right,
commentary over them because he has a beautiful manly voice. Just tall man, just handsome. But he has this whole thing, man, and it's so like I didn't know that was a thing. And I was talking to Nick when we were doing Extra Stream. I'm like, dude, I didn't know this was a thing, and he's so good at it. It's a whole community around it. Like there's multiple
right,
YouTube channels and they all support each other. And he's like right now he's recreating ECW from like 1993 or like early ECW TV. And it's interesting, man. Like he has the matches go. He knows like the outcome because of like I think he's using 2K17. I think he's is the one he's playing off of, or 2K. It's either 17 or 19.
okay,
Um, but he's looking forward to this for a fan aspect because he likes playing video games and he likes playing wrestling games, and as well for like it's a business for him, man. Like in a way, like I
right,
mean, he could go big doing this in the simulation thing on YouTube, and
mm,
it's if the game's not good, that is going to be a hindrance for him. Now,
yeah,
AEW, there's a lot of people are. There's two sides of that coin, right? Like a lot of people are already hyped because like, hey, they got all the people that did Def Jam Vendetta and No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain and all this stuff. They got that guy back, and then most of the studios back, and they got Ukes, and like they could do no wrong. Like maybe not. They haven't touched this like a North American wrestling property in so long, and as well a lot of people are like, "Well, oh, this looks horrible because it looks all cartoony, so I don't want to buy this game." Like, well, what if the gameplay is better though?
and that's one thing. And I've not been into video games as much as I'd like over the last
Hmm.
however many years now. But the one thing I would always say is I'd prefer a game to flow nice, and in general, flow nice, have a good story behind it, and keep me into it. And graphics has always been secondary. I don't want it to look like I'm playing Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But if you give me lesser graphics, but give me everything else I want, I will buy it 100 times out of 100. But if you're giving me something that looks like I'm looking at a 4K TV, but there's no real
Hmm.
story, everything's buggy as hell.
Yeah.
And what the hell is the point? You just spent all this time making a nice looking, for lack of a better term, and I don't know if you curse on this show, but piece of shit.
Yeah, we go PG-13. You're allowed one F.
Okay.
Yeah, no, no, you're right.
That's
Yeah, no, it's a piece of shit. No, it's interesting though, right? Like, and you get that, and then not to mention the 2K aspect of it, right? Like, I'm not entrenched in that world, so I'm not used to the microtransactions and stuff like that. I don't play I don't play NBA 2K, and that's a whole other thing. Like, I know people are so committed to that. I have friends Joey and Nick. They both like buy it yearly and stuff like that. But
right.
like going through like
I
the yeah, same, yeah. So
I
you can kind of
I
speak to this era because I don't know
yeah,
some of the things they're talking about in this. Um, Going through like the different versions of the game coming out because there's like 4 or 5 different versions.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a standard version. So for current generation, which is PS5, Xbox Series, it will be $70, which is the new norm for current generation games. It will be 60 for last year's last gen hardware. There is no upgrade path. It's not like you buy one and then you just have the other one, like a lot of games are doing. 2K is
Right.
sticking to what they did with NBA. So there's a cross gen bundle, which will be $80 American, 79.99. Digital standard editions of current and last gen versions of the game within the same console family. So you can't obviously buy a PS5 version of this cross gen bundle and then also get like the Xbox One version. That makes sense.
Right.
And in that pack, mind you, if you pre-order any of these, you get that Undertaker 3-pack that we saw at the end, where it's like Biker Taker, Phantom the Opera Taker, and the Original Taker, or like Ministry Taker, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But with this cross gen bundle, you'll also get Starcade 96 Rey Mysterio. And I think it's a pack, so I believe it has like that arena and some other arenas that are exclusive to that, or you might have to buy it. Typical
Yeah.
2K microtransaction BS, right? The
Right.
deluxe edition is $99.99. It's available physically and digitally, not like the cross gen bundle. You get 96 Starcade Rey Mysterio pack for PS5 and Xbox Series X only for some reason. The Undertaker Immortal pack right there and then. So that when you have to pre-order, you'll just get it in that package. Season pass for all 5 post-launch DLC packs. That's interesting. My Rise Mega Booster and Supercharger packs. Limited edition WWE Supercard content. And 3-day early access with pre-orders before March 8th. So My Rise Mega Boost and Supercharger, is that similar to like the card game that's in like 2K or
Um,
Madden?
well, I think if I remember saying it correctly, I think My Rise is like a career thing. The My Faction, I think,
Mhm.
is supposed to be like the cards, where you
Okay.
open up the pack of cards and you
Oh,
build
so
your
my
own.
rise would be like a boost to get like stats, like
Yeah,
just
I
like
think
a
so.
lot some moves early maybe or something. Like how you
Yeah,
used to back in the day.
yeah. From
Okay,
the sounds of it, it sounded like there's almost like two story modes. I don't remember, but I think
it seems
that's
like
it.
it.
The My Faction, I think is supposed to be like their card game, which if done right, those things are fun. I've had fun playing them with Madden.
Hmm.
They've had stuff where they make it fun, but it all depends on how you do your online. And again, that's something that especially 2K has not been the best with. Wrestling's hard. When you can't get the game to not be buggy online, it's just
Yeah, I can only
useless.
imagine too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember back in the day even just trying when it was with THQ. Like, oh, you can play online on 360. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, this doesn't really work.
Yeah. Uh,
I'll just download
it,
all the creative wrestler stuff,
yeah.
which that we'll talk about more in a little bit as well. But moving on, there's one final edition. Um, So it is the NWO for Life edition. This is $119.99. It will be available physically and digitally. All deluxe edition bonus content that I previously mentioned. My faction Evo cards. That's why I was like a little confused. Alternate NWO attire for Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Six. Yeah, I mean, like he always gets in there at the end, man. Um, Eric Bischoff as a playable character.
Mhm.
WCW Sold Out 1997 and WCW Bash at the Beach 1996 arenas. NWO Wolfpack Championship, I guess in game, but like you could just most of these you could just make unless you can't make the championships anymore. I remember that back in the day.
Yeah.
And then 3-day early access if you pre-order before March 8th. Um, that's dummy expensive. That is
Yeah. I
crazy. When I read
I
the price for that, I was like, "Wow, that's a lot."
th-
Also,
they're
man,
playing off the
X-Pac
NWO.
keeps getting in there, man. He just keeps
Yeah.
getting in there.
They're playing off the NWO. I mean, if I'm going to spend extra money on any of them, I know honestly it was going to be that one if I were to, purely because of the NWO connection to it. The problem is you find out from these games for so many that like I could probably get those NWO things by paying extra later. So why am I going to pay
Yeah,
for it all
that's the
now?
thing, right? Like, so we're looking at the difference between it's a $20 difference, right, between deluxe and NWO.
Mm,
And with the NWO, you're just getting Evo cards, the alternate attire for the four main NWO members, Bischoff, which you could just create a character and download. So or Mark could create it and I can download it, or whoever you know. WCW Sold Out 97 and 96 arenas, which if they're still doing the build arenas, you can just download, and the Wolfpack Championship, which again you could just download. Like it doesn't.
yeah,
That's one of those like you go through the whole game, you're like, yeah, I guess now I want to play as Hulk Hogan, right? And then like they have like a hey, we have all DLC sale on Xbox or PlayStation. I'm like, cool, I'll buy it now. I'll pay
the
five
worst.
dollars now.
Yeah, the worst part is you get that right, and you're like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna get the alternate tire," and then you find out they already have 3 other Hollywood Hogans in the game,
Right?
and
Yeah.
you're just getting this.
Yeah.
That's without. Wasn't that always the price? Like whenever you got something with it, like because they said that could be digital, right? So
Yeah,
like you're
physical
not
or digital,
getting.
yeah.
So like they've had times where they had statues and stuff with their deluxe, and again, that
At
is the
that price point,
price.
one
Yeah, that's the
120.
price that you. I, I don't dip into these, but I know it's a new thing. The whole NFTs and stuff like that, which I think are dumb on
Yeah.
their own thing. But if you're not giving something physical, why are you not using something like that? Like,
Yeah.
hey, buy this deluxe, and you get this ultra special WWE 2K NWO NFT. You know what I mean? Something
I'm
stupid.
surprised they didn't do anything like
Yeah,
that.
doesn't that has this written all over it.
Even
And
Marvel recently, they when you were able to pre-order a ticket for Spider-Man No Way Home, you got a Spider-Man NFT in your email. I'm like, bro, that's people in New York are like don't have power over this shit. Like, no, it's
I
ridiculous.
mean, again, I'm not getting into it, but I could see
Yeah,
why. I never got into any of the deluxe, so none. I think the one that had something with Ric Flair was about the only time that I
and
was
see,
like,
like when you
"Ooh, that
got
would
like a
be cool."
DVD or something like that, like I thought that was cool, but like to this extent, how much money you have to spend, it seemed kind of ridiculous. And it almost seems like, like you hear about these cards, like they kind of get addictive and all this. I was like, dude, I don't know. This seems like it's just a little bit too shady. Where I'm interested to see when if you haven't watched Apron Work Podcast, you should. Why are you watching a video about WWE 2K? I mean, you should watch my stuff too. I thank you for supporting me, but you should also check
Yeah,
us out at Apron Work.
yeah,
Our YouTube's linked already below in the description. You
yeah.
know, these
Go subscribe
yeah,
there if you came from there. Subscribe
yeah,
here.
exactly.
Share the love.
And we talk about it constantly, and we kind of shit on WWE a lot. We try not to, but it's really hard.
Yeah, it's
It's really,
very
really
hard.
hard. But with going through this, man, like what does AEW's game look like, right? Like what does their um pre-order bonus look like? What does their um deluxe edition look like? Because that's gonna be a thing, right? What is their price point? Are they going at a traditional $70? What we don't know as well, like the full scope of the game. There's so many like little things we don't know about that game where it may just it's
Right.
in my head, I would think it's traditional, so $70, maybe $90 for like a deluxe edition, but maybe you get Young
Yeah.
Bucks money out of that, which we already
Yeah,
have.
or you get a pack of those upper deck
Yeah,
cards.
something,
Um
man. Like,
and
yeah,
and and
and something equal value
whole
on the other
battle
one.
pass, the whatever you want to
Yeah,
call
the
it, the whole
season.
thing.
Yeah,
You need to I don't 2K did that I think with one of their last games where even their deluxe I don't think you got the full thing. You
no,
got
they.
like
I know
one
exactly what you're
part of it
talking
and then you
about.
had to
Yeah,
buy the other four and you're like, why am I paying extra money
and
for
you
that?
still
I
had a
don't
pre-order to get the Fiend,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
WWE fired him. Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, wrestling games in general, it's tough because they want to make it a sports game, and it's not.
Yeah,
I'm not buying a wrestling game to play competitively online, where I think Madden and NBA get a lot of their people who buy it every year who play online.
yeah,
I've watched what is it called? The esports, the 2K League. It's
oh,
so much
it's
fun.
ridiculous. Yeah,
They have it's so much fun to watch. But I don't. I have a wireless connection, and I play on the PC, which is harder to play online because it's just a lot of people quit or they're using things against them.
yeah,
So it's tough for me to play. But I understand why people get into it. And you have the whole create a player, and you play online. You go through the streets and you find pickup games, and it they're online, and I think that might have been 2K21 that I'm talking about, or 2K20, I don't know. But it reminds me of the SmackDown
yeah. I see.
era
You
of
know, it
wrestling.
makes me think of. I remember with NBA 2K21, or I guess right, or the one that just came out this recently. They had like Jake from State Farm, and like you could just walk around. I was like, and it was funny enough. I think in the back of my head, that's all I was thinking, like going through the backstage area in
Yeah,
SmackDown.
yeah.
That's what it screamed like to me. It was funny enough thinking about that. It's it's just strange, like how it seems like a cash grab for so much of it. I'm hopeful that the game is good, but like I hate the idea that I feel inclined to get that 120 version almost, right? Like,
They know what they're doing because the NWO itself just makes it like
yeah.
cooler to
And
get.
look, I mean, in the past, like I recently I didn't want to do it, but when I purchased Mortal Kombat 11, I purchased just the base edition. And
Mm,
knowing there was a deluxe edition that like, hey man, when the DLC comes out, you just pay for it right now. I was like, yeah, I at the time did not have like $80 for it. I was like, I'm just gonna straight up
yeah,
just pay the 60. And it it kind of worked out, kind of didn't. But like when let's say like the all the DLC came out, right? I purchased that finally at the end, got to play as like Terminator and all that stuff. I still play even once in a while. Like I'll re-download it, play for like a day, and be like, I'm done.
right,
But then there was a story expansion that wasn't included in that like initial like deluxe edition stuff, so everyone had to pay for that, right?
mm,
And or it was like super cheap if you had the deluxe edition. Like, hey,
right,
we didn't know this was gonna be a thing. We kind of got really excited when you guys got excited about the game, so we did more stuff or some shit like that. I don't remember the whole stuff behind it, but I ended up I felt like left out for so long because I
mm,
was like, oh my god, there's story content now. Like I want to know what happens. I want to know what's up with Fujin and Shang Tsung.
right,
Like I want to play as Gary Fukugawa or whatever the guy's name is who played Shang Tsung in '95's Mortal Kombat. Like I want to play this. Like I want to do this. And I just felt left out, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should just spoil it. Like it's just DLC. I did really well, did not spoil it, and then like I said, PlayStation had like a sale on DLC only for like a weekend. I was like, well, there you go. It's $15 instead of 30. But like I felt left out for so much
right.
of that because of that like kind of hindrance. Like are people going to feel like that if they don't spend the 70? If they don't spend like that extra, so it's what, 70 for next gen and then 120. So it's like a $60, something like that. 60, $50. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
substantial, man. That's a whole
But
other game.
it's the beauty and the curse of going full PC like I am now
Yeah.
is that game will not be released for like 4 or 5 months for the PC, and they won't even announce
Well, they announced the
which gen
PC.
it'll be.
Exactly, that's the issue. So a PC was announced. Um, it said it was on everything, but I don't see it in just the imaging right here. But
But it,
from
it
what I heard
won't come
earlier,
out at the same time.
yeah, I think it may, but they haven't specified what version, whether it's next gen or
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, current gen or past gen. Like that, that's an issue. There's so
It,
much
it, it
stuff that
sucks.
doesn't get like audibly said from 2K, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Especially with this specifically, NBA is like it's a known quantity, and like
Yeah.
it kind of helps. And same thing with like Madden for EA and stuff, like NHL. Like kind of know what you're getting every year,
Right.
and like they haven't been messes so much that everyone's like, I'm never playing again. Like this last one was so bad they took time, which was
Yeah.
great. They need to take time. Um, and then I'm gonna just touch base on like just two little things, and then we'll get into the final little thing I wanted to talk to you about. So some of the
Okay.
rankings came out, like the ratings,
All right.
before we started filming our Apron Work podcast episode 75. You should check it out on YouTube. And so just some of the ones we have here. So we have Edge. He's rated at a 90. Uh, NWO4 Life Edition Hulk Hogan is rated at 92. NWO4 Life Edition Kevin Nash is rated at 90. Okay. Rey Mysterio is rated at a 90. Scott Hall is rated at a 90. And Six is rated at an 88. I
Huh?
I don't hate X Pac or Six or anything. I just doesn't that seem a little high?
I think you could justified an 80 with him when you just named all the people you did.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, hell, I think Rey Mysterio is a little high,
I
um,
also believe he's a little high. Yeah.
but he's the cover
Yeah.
athlete, which
Which will be
I'm
our last topic on that
okay.
one. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say I
No,
won't
you
go
said
on
you had
that
words. I was
soapbox.
like, I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
go on this
I
one.
won't. I won't go on that soapbox right now.
Not
But
yet.
um, yeah, wrestling ratings have always been bad.
It's yeah.
They just
It's
I know it's hard. It's a weird thing because I feel like the people who do Madden's ratings and NBA, they have the toughest job in the world because you're never going to appease everybody. Every athlete thinks they're the best athlete.
yeah. How
Um,
many ESPN stuff comes out like in training camp? Like, hey, you got rated on Madden at a 87. It was like, nah, dude, I'm a
yeah,
92. It was like,
yeah.
are you though?
How am I not rated a 99? With like nobody in the game's rated over 96, but I'm 99. It's like
This
what?
is Tom Brady scene.
Calm down. But like wrestling is like it's so easy to know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like I think any version of Hogan should be 95 or above because no matter what version you're talking about, unless you're talking about old man return to WWE against the Rock version, um, he's one of the best as far as everything. Like, I'm not gonna fight you on John Cena and Hulk Hogan and The Rock and Brock Lesnar being 95 and above. They should. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be sitting there with like six floating around right underneath them.
Yeah,
Like, nah,
88.
he didn't
I'm
do it
like,
enough.
I'm trying to think of the time frame he was with the NWO. Like, I felt like it wasn't that long. And then next thing you know, he was just with DX as X Pac.
I mean, I feel like they usually have their guys relatively close, and I feel like it's because they don't want to piss people off.
Yeah. And
Um,
what's the other thing too? Like, what will Kevin Owens' rating be? You know,
yeah,
if
I,
Six is an 88, what is
I'm
Kevin
telling you,
Owens?
yeah, exactly, because you say 90, and now you're like, okay, you're putting up with these guys, but then you put them at 86, and you're like, wait, six was never better than what Kevin Owens is right now. Uh,
Right? Yeah.
yeah, it's but
It, and that's where you go back to where you just started. Like that ratings is a weird
yeah,
because there's no
but
tangible thing. Like I need a breakdown of how you rate the wrestler, and like is
but
it like star power, charisma, like what goes into this rating?
wrestling, I feel like is easier than a lot of other games.
Right?
to put it purely because you just go off his history. Young guys and stuff are harder, but you know what? If let's say Braun Breaker was in this game, and I don't think he will be. I don't think he's in that 5, but let's say he was in this game.
Mm,
If you gave me
count, sure.
Braun Breaker at 78, I'm like, okay, he's young. He hasn't done shit yet.
Yeah.
Put his potential at like an A plus. So like, I don't know if WWE is going to add where you can go through and actually get better and worse like you can in other sports games.
Hmm.
But if you don't have that, then don't put ratings to them at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it because I'm not going to pick 6 because he's an 88 and he's better than
Yeah.
Kevin Owens and you're an 86. I'm not going to say like, ooh, I'm going to have the better rated guy to fight
And,
against you.
and like, where's Dom in this, right? Rating wise, like,
Yeah.
where is Dom? Because like, is he gonna be like a 60? Like, where do you put him? Like,
Yeah.
that's the weird thing when you start going into that like little shit like that. It's like, well, dude, like, it doesn't make sense. Some of the stuff doesn't make sense when you get to it, and it is, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna see. All right, so they don't have the full roster. That's literally all that's there because they on their website. That's all we have listed is there, and for whatever reason, Edge's number is not there anymore. Um, but yeah, like Edge being a 90, I'd put him at like a 92. I'd put him where Hogan's at, and Hogan, you're right. This era Hogan, not saying the fact that he said the N word very freely. He said it in private at this time. He'd probably be like a 95. But like Nash is a 90. You're telling me 6 is a 88?
Yeah.
Like he wasn't like U.S. champion or anything. Like, and then that's not even to bemoan the cruiserweight championship. It's just like what? Rey Mysterio's a 90. Like, is he gonna be over Seth Rollins? And like, all right, is that 90 because like the model we have is that 90 because he's been around forever? Is that why you're doing it? And like, we can just talk about it now. He's a cover athlete, and where it doesn't hurt me. Like it's not like annoying or anything to me. It's it should have happened before. Why does it happen in 2022? Like there's
But he has been the cover before.
with multiple people though, right? Not by himself.
I thought
Wasn't it him
I,
and like Cena or something?
I thought somebody like did like a post from him from like years ago when he said he was going to beat his son in the game when he was the cover. Um and maybe it was just somebody making fun and maybe he wasn't even on the cover. I don't know. Um
That's why I'm double checking just confidence.
yeah, I'm talking on my ass here. Um
No, I thought he was on, but with like other people, not like being the featured artist. Like
and
the
and
the
it might
guy.
and honestly the cover might have been, remember people used to make covers,
That's fair.
um
That's
and
fair as
and
well.
that it might have just been an image of somebody making a cover.
So yeah,
But
I mean, so I
yeah,
don't I don't have a problem with Ray being the cover athlete. I have a problem with it
I do.
being in 2022. It should
Uh
have been like
yeah.
when he won the world championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're 10 years too late.
Yeah,
Um
and I'm sure it was
for that.
Cena then. Like at that time, it's probably like Cena Batista on the cover or something like that. Or,
The
but it's just weird. Like
hold
I
on,
love him. Don't get me wrong. I just
I get to finally go on my soapbox about this.
yeah yeah
Yeah.
yeah
That's where we're at? All right, just make sure we're at that point. Um you don't give us a game for a year. You say you're going to develop, you know, a new system and it's going to be fun. Then you give us my GM, which looks like career mode with a little tweak. And
yeah
then you tell us, hey, you can be Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or NXT UK. And you're thinking, I wanted my GM with custom shows because you've given me custom shows up to this point, and now I'm stuck to, if I want to be different, I got to be NXT UK. Like,
yeah
huh? So you're already like missing the point of why you went away. I will take a glitchy game if you give me fun options, and you're not giving me fun options, and I don't trust you not to give me a glitchy game. But then you put on the cover Rey Mysterio for your main cover.
Yep. In
Like
2022.
I I'm not saying it had to be Reigns. I'm not saying it had to be Lesnar. Uh, there is so many people that they could have put on there.
It should have been Big
Whether
E.
yeah, I had they put Big E
Someone
on there,
newer, someone in that zeitgeist, right?
I feel like because they took the year off, it had to be someone like a Big E or Brock Lesnar. Like I felt like there's no in between there. You can't
Yeah.
decide to.
Or I've said this before. Sorry to cut you off. I've been saying this before. Like, why not a tag team or just a New Day? Like the
Yeah,
marketability alone, just
yeah,
because
yeah.
they've always been over.
Yeah, if
New
you
Day.
didn't want to put just Big E on there by himself, New Day would have been a great cover. Uh, you're trying to sell us that it hits different, and then you gave us the same old bullshit. And that's why I assumed Bray had been on a cover before, because he seems like the type of person they would have put on a cover before. And I'm like, why? Like, you
Yeah.
could have like slapped me in the face worse and put Triple H on there, maybe. I would have even preferred John Cena. Like I said, like I don't. It was almost like they knew they were going to give you an NWO on the deluxe,
Yeah.
and they said, "Who is the most so-so person we can put on there that people know who he is, people like him, but they're gonna want to buy the NWO cover?" Oh, Rey Mysterio. Okay, let's throw him in. That's what it
What's
seems
the
like.
appeal of Rey Mysterio in 2022? You know, like I don't. He's inoffensive to me. Like I don't mind him on the roster. Like I think the end goal for him is Dom, like being established, which is fine. We
Right.
need newer talent. Um, but any year from like 2003 on, Rey Mysterio should have been on the cover and be the featured artist until he finally like took a break from WWE and then
Right.
came back. Like that once he came back, he should have been a candidate on the cover. And that's no offense to him. I just like at this point we have newer talent. We have people who haven't been featured. Again, it could have I've been saying for the longest time New Day. I am a New Day
Yeah.
stan. That's fair. I get it. But
Yeah.
it should have been like the New Day. And you know what?
Yeah.
Perfect idea. Deluxe cover, right? Steelbook edition. Big E's the cover artist, but if you get the Steelbook, you peel it up, it's the New Day, and they pull away, and then it's just Big E. Um, I mean, the dude just won the world title, right? I'm
Uh,
surprised. It could have been Roman again. That's fair.
I was gonna
You know
say.
what? It could have been Bianca Belair.
I was gonna say. I think because they took the year off, I felt like you needed to go big with it. And it's either you go big with it in a way that everybody's going to be like, oh shit, they finally did it, or you go with your biggest name. And Roman Reigns has been on such a tear
Yeah.
that, like, how do you not put Roman Reigns there? And honestly, it set itself up to be like Roman Reigns and then like Brock Lesnar on the deluxe or some shit. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. How cool
then
would it have been?
you're like subliminally like putting that out there, like, hey, this is what we're aiming for um WrestleMania. You got Brock Lesnar on the deluxe, and you got Roman Reigns on the main
Yeah.
one. Like,
How cool would it have been if I only say cool because it's not a good thing. It's the most WWE or 2K thing or big game studio thing. The main cover, like the standard edition, is let's say Bianca and Sasha, right? You get the deluxe edition, and it's you get both covers. You get Sasha and Bianca on the front, and then on the back it's Roman and Brock or something. Something special, I guess. But yeah, I'm only thinking this because I was thinking about the controversy with Ubisoft and like why you know they want apparently like the developers for Assassin's Creed Origin wanted or not Origins Odyssey wanted just specifically a female protagonist, and their bosses are horrible people, and they were like, no. If you're gonna do it, it has to be both at least. So it has to be either a guy or a girl. You have to put this in no matter what. But all the marketing material shows Cassandra, not Demos. I could see 2K doing like, well, here we got women on the cover, and then it's like, well, the deluxe edition has the guys, so just in case you're a sexist, like
yeah.
I feel like that would have been like a win, odd shitty win for like shitty people who love wrestling, you know,
Yeah,
thing. But like, it's. I mean, no, I know Becky was on the last one, and that was
yeah,
fine. But that year, it should have just been Becky,
yeah, yeah.
not
It
Roman.
should have.
Roman
She
should be on his own this year.
yeah,
Becky should have been on her own last time.
yeah, and that's yeah. They missed the boat on that one, even though it
They
should
don't
have
want to
been
pull the
it.
trigger. Like that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
how if you threw Charlotte on there this year? Like
Would have been fine.
I just I feel like there was too many options better than what they came up with,
Yeah.
and it's like for the first time, like I said, they could have put John Cena on there, and I'd be like, I get it. They haven't had it in 2 years. They want people to see John Cena's in the
The
game.
biggest name, yeah. And
I get it. I would understand it. I'd
yeah.
absolutely understand. This was the first time where I'd be like, give me the same old, same old. Give me the Rock on the front. I'm fine with that.
Well, yeah,
Give
Rock's in
me
the game. Why
somebody.
not, right?
Yeah, give me somebody that you're going to get people. Stone Cold. I don't care who it is. Just have them there.
Yeah.
This is the time to do it. You took a year off, or you go completely the other way. Like I said, it was almost like they were like, who would keep the marks happy, and who would keep, who's going to keep everybody happy? Oh,
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio
And
is
listen, like again, it's the issue with it's ineffective, right? To me, it's not
yeah.
even anger inducing. It's just like I love Rey Mysterio. I always will love Rey Mysterio, but it's like I think the time for him to be a cover artist on a video game was like 10 years ago.
And then they're given, isn't that? I think that's one of the things is his career mode, right? Isn't that the thing
Yeah, and that
WWE's
should
been
be
doing?
like an alternate cover, right? In the standard edition, you take it out, you
I
have Rey Mysterio on there. The deluxe edition, it's both. You know, like
but
I'm saying that when I mentioned that Becky, that I'm sorry, that Bianca and then like Lesnar thing, it could have been both, right? So on the back is a steel book. You have Rey Mysterio, and on the front you have like another photo of whoever.
like
Seth Rollins, like it could have been
I don't
Seth
I
Rollins.
I don't see Rey Mysterio's career being as good as a mode as it could have been because there's a lot of guys that aren't there anymore, and I doubt they're going to be able to get them into the game because they're not
Well, they have
associated
Eddie.
with them.
So that's why we had the Starcade thing. Eddie, I think they have his license, likeness and stuff because of Vicky, as we mentioned in previous Apron
But
Work
like I,
podcast episodes. You should check it out. It's on YouTube.
I doubt there's going to be any Jericho. Like his main
That's fair. Yeah, no
top of the line
Jericho.
should
Most
be
likely no Malenko, right?
WCW. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking of so many that's not going to be
Maybe
involved in his
Juventud.
career. And who knows if that's even,
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of that. Like, what would be the most fun to play with him? Probably his ECW and WCW days.
yeah,
And I don't know that you're going to get much of that. You're going to get a lot of his WWE run, which again had some nice moments, but unless his ending is ending when he finally won
yeah,
the title, like, uh,
yeah.
what?
So we definitely will get Batista,
Uh,
but like Chavo is basically AEW. So is he going to be on there? And that's a good point to bring up, right? So we have so many legacy people that are part of Rey Mysterio's legacy, like legacy wrestlers. I'm sorry, or older wrestlers that are currently not working in WWE in any sort of fashion, whether it be
right.
producer, on screen talent, anything like that. But so many of them are working for AEW. Now, we know because of Martha Hart's statement and the Owen Hart Foundation teaming up with AEW, Owen Hart will be featured in AEW's game, which is absolutely insane to think about. When's the last time we got to play as Owen Hart in a video game? Even having that
Right.
moveset for creative wrestlers is going to be awesome. That dude has one of the best fisherman suplexes ever, other than Mr. Perfect. And when you get there, man, like we have him right, and that's a legacy wrestler we're gonna put. AEW could technically put legends in there. They have
Yeah.
Malenko, they have Jerry Lynn.
Yeah.
Who else is on that roster that's like legacy? I mean, you can get Chris Jericho, and technically, you never have to touch the ECW or WCW Jericho. You go straight to New Japan stuff. Because that's probably what they're gonna do with Owen. He's probably gonna have like his New Japan gear, and they'll
And
talk
you
about
can
his career.
you can you can make new gear for them. I don't
Yeah,
think anybody's going to be like,
no,
Owen Hart's never worn this.
yeah,
I'm not playing. Like Tully Blanchard.
Yeah,
Jake the
dude.
Snake.
Yeah,
You
you
have
could
so
technically
much.
have them, right? Like, I don't think they have Legends contracts with WWE anymore,
Yeah,
so
and
you could
and
have that.
that's where I'm assuming they don't. And I got to be honest with you, I would love to play an Owen Hart, Dean Malenko in the prime of their careers match in a game. Um, they're going. They have the potential to give us all that. Plus, like if I told you that you have a triple threat with um Owen Hart, CM Punk, and MJF like right now. Like you
Yeah,
like it's cool. It's cool to me because they
or
have a
just do
lot.
the Winnipeg, right? That Winnipeg 3, so you could have Owen, Kenny, and Chris Jericho.
Erica. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's WWE as their game right now is at a disadvantage because AEW is unknown and WWE is giving us the same old, and we're saying give us back what we had. Give us back what we had.
yeah.
The fun of walking around backstage and there's three different wrestlers you could talk to and that's where your story goes was one of the coolest things ever.
I thought
And
it
the
was a
fact
logical leap to where
it
like
and it
where it
takes
started to
away.
where it got to that point. I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
And you think about it now, like I said, I could go play NBA and I could go play online and I can go walk to my apartment and try to shoot the basketball. Like there's like a basketball in like my apartment. And then I can go to the playground and there's literally people standing on the side. It's so cool. Like there would be people standing on the court waiting for the next game
That's
and you
awesome.
could
Yeah,
walk in there and join it. And they have 3-on-3s, they have full courts, 5-on-5s, they have 2-on-2s, and you could go in there and you could set yourself in there. And it shows like they're my player is a center and this one's a guard, and it's the coolest thing. And you're just like in this online street. And you're just going to play street games with people, and then there's a gym. You can go in the gym, and they're playing 5-on-5s, and it's such like a cool concept. And that's 2K.
yeah.
2K does it for their online, which is harder to do than putting it in game.
That's
Why don't we have that with wrestling? Why can't I go ask John Laurinaitis
not to
for a
fire me.
push?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
just
don't
walk
fire
in
me.
and just say hey, and it's very easy for them to say, hey, well, you gave a 5-star match your last match. We'll look at a title for you. Like everything they showed before, they can do now
Yeah,
at, at a better way. To give us GM mode finally and warp it so much from what it looked like before. And I don't know what it's going to be, but I can tell you the images they gave us does not give me hope for it. It doesn't.
no, yeah, and then what does that play out as, right? Because you have four choices quickly in that trailer. I don't know if you saw. So it's Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville. Now is Sonya Deville off the fighter roster? Because that would suck. Because she's a great wrestler. I mean, not great. I mean, I'm not like talking crap about her skill or whatever. I like her style though. Like she was
Right.
cool. I understand why she stepped away for a little bit. Because God, if that happened to me, I'd
Uh-uh.
need a mental break as well. Um, Same thing with Mandy. Like I'm surprised she kept going. She kept trucking along, even though she almost died. Um, but yeah, it's Adam Pearce, Sonya, Stephanie, and Shane. It's like, how does that work? Like, it's just there's so
Wait,
much weird
wait.
stuff with it.
Oh, wait. So do you get to pick who you want to be and then you can pick what show you're running?
I guess, yeah, there were four.
Or
There was
is
four
Stephanie, it's
shown,
like,
and see
it's
that's
like
the other thing too. When they keep
Stephanie
saying
and
like,
Shane going to be NXT and NXT
yeah,
UK?
that's the thing. Like I don't know, and that's where a this 2 minute trailer was cool. It was fun having the internet personality intend to tap man. I think it was looking not in a bad way, like saying it, but it was cute. It's a cute commercial. Like everyone's kind of in character. Like for whatever reason, Drew McIntyre is shirtless in a workplace. That's not cool, man. That's not sanitary. It's still COVID, man. You should wear a mask. But whatever. uh, Rey Mysterio's picking costumes and telling everyone what to do. It was adorable, but like, what does I want a 7 minute deep dive, right? Like recently, just random, like today, a trailer dropped for Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. That was like 8 minutes long. And mind you, they showed the game previously, like last year and before. It was like 8 minutes long, just going through what is new about this game and why you should buy it, right? So that trailer should come out. whether I'm talking crap and tomorrow morning you're like, hey, here's the deep dive of 2K22. Please, I would love to be wrong on
Nah,
that. Watch this video
nah.
first and then watch that.
Two, two,
Um,
2K had the one thing they've done, and I've noticed this. They allow the game players that they give the thing to show any of these new things.
mhm.
We're gonna start getting those videos first.
Yeah,
I
people
don't.
are
Yeah,
already starting to talk. I wanted to go through that more. I just haven't had time in the day, and I think they're allowed to talk
yeah,
to. I think embargoes are going to be coming up soon on that. And 2K, if you want to send us a copy, we're more
yeah,
than welcome. We'll cover it on Nerd Today and Apron Work. We'll just make one video and just put it on both,
yeah,
for both our audiences. Well, we're not above it. We're not above it. It's not
mm-mm.
really a sponsorship, actually. We're just asking for a code. I'll give you my
Yeah,
honest
that's
review. If
all.
it's crap, I'm gonna completely be honest. If you send me a paper that says like, "Hey, you gotta say this game is good," I'm not signing that paper. Straight up. That's the policy in
I
there
will.
today.
I will.
Oh,
I'll sign it.
Apron Work would be very biased. Yeah,
Apron work.
yeah.
Yeah.
We will sell our soul. Nerd today now. uh, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. That's
um,
WWE 2K22, man, in a nutshell
yeah.
so far. We'll talk
I
about it more in the days coming. And
Yeah, yeah. It's just eh, eh. I've seen them do too many different things. And like
yeah,
you said, if those are the four options, and if they're locked to shows as the general managers, it's
yeah,
I've played Madden, I played NBA 2K, where I can make a created GM, a created coach, a created player. I can pick former players to be coaches down the line. There's too much customizability to paint me in a box where if I want to be NXT UK, I have to be Stephanie McMahon. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's too much.
Yeah, and that's like I said. Hopefully that 7 minute deep dive trailer comes out
Yeah,
quicker. I mean, again, we have March 11th is the release date. We're January 20th right now. 21st is midnight. January 21st as of this recording. Like we have little over 2 months or like a month and a half or more uh till the game actually releases. So I mean, who knows what like how that's gonna go. I hope I feel as a consumer, as a fan of wrestling games, and as a fan of wrestling in general, I need that deep dive trailer because this one can't miss, man. This I said this on Apron Work. This has to be at least good. I will take a good WWE game and
yeah.
build hopefully like in 2 years and take a year break. Don't just keep doing this. Do some DLC, pull Assassin's Creed, and then the year after be like, hey, here's 2K24. Take your time. Don't rush.
You're asking too
I
much.
know, man. I know I am. I'm also the same person in my last video who said Call of Duty doesn't need to be annual anymore that Microsoft owns them. It's true. They don't need to be. They probably will. Kevin Diaz over at PlayStation Stores is probably correct. They will annualize that. Me, I'm like, nah, man. Just take some time. Let them do a Crash 4 or Crash 5 and a Spiral 6 or whatever. Like, let those studios breathe.
I agree with you for most sports stuff. WWE, I'm perfectly fine with being yearly. Um, my issue with them being yearly is they don't like if you give me Rey Mysterio this year's career and then Hulk Hogan's career next year and this person's career, as long as you give me a fun enough career mode on top of those stories, uh, I don't mind wrestling year to year. It's hard. It's hard to make franchise better for NBA or Madden or something like that. It's just hard to. Football's football, basketball's basketball, hockey's hockey. It's going to be the same thing. Those games, if they were smart, would charge you $20 and just to update the
Everyone said it.
roster
Yep.
every and
That's what
just
I was going
every
to
other
get to.
year. Give
Hmm.
me 2 years to give me new features. Wrestling, I'm fine if you give me GM, career, and one wrestler a year story mode.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I will buy a new game every year,
Yeah.
but perfect what you got. Don't give me 17 different my player modes and add in
If
card
the
if you
foundation
didn't.
is solid,
Yeah.
right? Make it a platform, right?
Yeah.
Make it a Overwatch without the sexual harassment at the studio. Just make it like Overwatch, where it's like it's a solid foundation. And now there's, I mean, of course, there's an Overwatch 2 coming out, but I think that was financially because Activision's struggling. But like, make a solid foundation and just build upon it.
Yeah.
Charge me $25. Let me play as Razor Ramon's story mode for some reason. Like whatever, no matter. Just update the roster. It's gonna be weird when you delete people because you deleted their career in real life. But whatever. Just fix the roster, and I
Yeah.
just make WWE 2K.
Hey,
That's it. Just name it that.
hey,
Or 2K is WWE. You know what I mean?
Madden was able to remove Colin Kaepernick. They can do whatever they want.
Ooh, man, that's another
Madden
story. Yeah.
Madden showed that, hey, you could do that. You can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
decide
We
to do
choose
it.
not to, but you can do that. Again, give us a because yeah, $70, man. It's a lot, man. It's a lot to ask for, especially with so many annualized titles, and even at the height when there was so many, right? When there's Assassin's Creed every year, a Call of Duty every year, almost like a Battlefield almost every year, and then having WWE. If you were like a fan of all this stuff, man, you're just broke, just straight broke.
Now, now, I guess as a video game player, I will ask you a question since
Mhm.
you asked my reaction and stuff like this. Was it 120? Right? Was the deluxe edition?
The 120 is the NWO for Life edition.
All right.
The deluxe I think is 90
Okay.
or
Well,
100.
whatever the most expensive one. You said
Yeah,
110.
120. Yeah, yeah.
All right. So 120. So the regular game right now is 70, right?
Mhm, mhm.
If I told you that this game covers this year and next year, and give me 130 for it,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
will give you some update, we will update the rosters every 3 months. We will give you some update, but no more than X amount. You know what I mean? There's got to be
Yeah.
some limitations of there. But we said, hey, we will give you story modes. Buy it for this price. We'll give you some. We'll give you discounted stories, so then you can pay it for discount. That you're paying the price of almost 2 games, but you already are going into it knowing it. Like, hey, I'm going to get some added DLC stories at a quarter of the price or whatever. Um, they can do it. They have it there to do it, and people will eat it up.
Yeah.
You would spend that 120 a lot quicker if I said, hey, I'm just going to give you updated rosters. I'm going to do what you've asked for. I'm going to give you updated, and it's only going to be for 2 years. It's good for 2 years. Then we're going to come out with another game. We'll add some features. We'll see. They have it there because honestly, the models of the wrestlers don't change that much. They
No,
just don't.
no, that's what I was
There's
saying.
not.
Like having that solid foundation, that's all you really need, man. Like,
eh,
and we're pardon me, we're saying Braun Breaker's not going to be in the game at launch. One of those 5 DLCs is going to be Braun Breaker and like the NXT 2.0 stage and stuff like that in the ring and all. And if the championship gets changed from now till then, that'll be like an updated DLC thing. Because I mean, to be fair, it's just scanning stuff in, right?
I don't think Brown Baker's going to be in the game.
Not really, not even as DLC at the end.
Mm-mm.
Only because I
No,
felt like they added
I
people in
think
previous
NXT.
years.
Yeah, but I feel like
So this
there was
NXT is gonna be 1.0. It's
no.
gonna be
I
awkward.
think they'll add 2.0 as a DLC,
The
and
stage or
I
just in general.
yeah, I think you'll probably get the logo. That I don't know if they changed the look of the title. Oh, they did, right? They changed the look of the title. Isn't it gold now instead of?
It hasn't
I
been
thought it
changed
used to be
yet.
silver, and it's now.
No,
Oh,
it was always gold. The silver
okay.
pieces you're thinking about is the women's. There's a little silver accents because the belts almost
Yeah.
look similar.
Again, I haven't watched NXT in a very
Yeah,
long time.
yeah. The belts
Um,
haven't changed yet.
but I'm assuming they will, and that's something I feel like they could change easily. I'm trying to think somebody that they might have in NXT 2.0 that might be like the guy. You might get
Grayson Waller.
now who's the guy that wrestled for NXT 1.0 and the War Games, but he's technically not the guy from NWA, um, LA Knight.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
Okay.
I could see him being like the guy you get in NXT 2.0. Because I feel like he was around long enough that they might have already been making him, but now they could base the NXT 2.0 package around
Around
him
him.
because
Yeah,
he's
no,
still
that's a good
there.
point. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I do. We've had too many times where like, hey, this guy has been signed since X date. He should be good. And I feel like Brown Breaker wasn't with them developing enough before he got put on TV.
Yeah, he signed and basically was at the Performance Center last February, I think. And I mean, he was like kind of courted beforehand, but like I think it was like February when the like the ink was signed. Yeah, that I don't think you're right. That's a good turnaround.
Yeah.
And then how do you space 5 DLCs from March? Is it March to March, or like is March going to be the new launch date for 2K series? Like around WrestleMania?
They normally have 4 DLCs, right? So I don't think 5 is that crazy.
I was just trying to
Um,
think of the timing. Like, I doubt we're gonna get like 2K22 or 2K23 in November. Like, it's probably gonna be
uh,
March next year as well.
yeah, they'll probably try to stick to it, but honestly, their DLC's always been so weird with timing
Yeah,
because you'll end up waiting 5 months for the first one, and then like within 2 months you'll get the next two, but one of the DLCs will only be like arenas
yeah,
and like alternate versions of like Mickey James or that is not, but like
yeah.
Trish Stratus's alternate version, and you're like, what?
Like, this
She
is
looks
worth the
exactly.
$20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Two of those 5 will be stuff where you're like, I would have never bought this DLC had I known that you were gonna
yeah.
give me
No, it's frustrating.
another NWO Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I don't need him in a Wolfpack shirt now. Like,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
hell is
Now you're
this?
gonna Wolfpack him, and then you also giving me in that $20.
That that absolutely is a DLC.
Oh,
Is
I bet you that's
Wolfpack.
what it is.
You're
That's
gonna get
part of it.
Wolfpack NXT 2.0. They will be 2 of the DLCs, and that's exactly you're going to get Kevin Nash and Scott Hall in red instead of white. It's going to be the same as that character. They're just
Hmm.
wearing red instead of white.
Yep.
Yeah,
You make a taser. That's it. As a, as a weapon.
you can't even get Sting. You can't even get Wolfpack Sting out of this.
That's crazy, right? Or Conan or anything like that. Like that's
Yeah,
maybe Lex Luger
you
using
can
the
get
Wolfpack, right?
you can get Shawn Michaels from the NWO. That's what you're going to get.
That's 2 weeks where I was like the biggest NWO. Finally, it's time. My man's back.
You don't have Big Show. Like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah, it's
like yeah.
crazy. Yeah, they really like don't have anybody. That's the strange thing. Like so many people in the past, and like I said, I don't know what the trajectory of AEW's game is if they're just focusing on current talent, but the fact that they have Owen Hart confirmed for the game, or at least confirmed that like he will be used in video games. I'm assuming if I'm Ukes or if I'm AEW, if I'm Kenny, I'm talking to Ukes and be like, yo, you got to get him at least in this game out of everyone.
Yeah,
You have that legendary talent. Like I would be like, hey, Dean, can we put you in the game?
it would be wonderful even if it wasn't guys signed to it. Like, I could picture them going hardcore and going out and just getting guys. I mean, how great would it be? I'm not saying it's even possible, but they can sign like New Japan guys
That's
to
what I was
be their
thinking.
DLC.
Yeah,
Nick Gage,
yeah,
get put in a game as a DLC. And that's the kind of shit that you will pay for DLC.
yeah,
If they told me Owen Hart is heading a DLC package, I'm already buying it. I don't have the
yeah,
game yet. I'm already buying a DLC. You start throwing out random guys that you've never seen in a WWE game. The top indie guys, like, it don't even have to be huge names. Just start giving me, guys that aren't even on your roster. And I don't know the whole ins and outs of the video games and if they can sign guys, but like I could
yeah.
see a whole buttload of guys saying like,
It's
I'm
probably a
not even
separate
on your
contract, but
show.
still, yeah,
Yeah. But like, if you really want to hit that fan base, hit it hard and hit it as hard as you can
yeah.
and give me DLC of a,
I'm saying Dean
a
Malenko,
Nick, and I'm even
Nick
going
Gage too.
current.
Yeah.
You go get Nick Aldis.
Oh, yeah,
You find guys. Jonathan Gresham, you don't have to bring him in. Just say, hey, let us just put you in there. We'll put the ROH title in. Hey, ROH, let's put your. You know what I mean? I feel like they're so willing to work with other companies that it gives me excitement for the game because you can put your guys front and center, but then give me a DLC where you're like saying like, hey, we'll throw ROH in here. It's still all focused on
yeah.
AEW, but here's some ROH stuff.
And then you
Here's
get
some
Mecca.
GCW
I'm
stuff.
just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Mecca and Alex Kane will be heading
Yeah,
the Apron Work Podcast DLC packers.
yeah. We're commentating. I would love to do that. I would love to be a commentator. That'd be hilarious. It'd just be
Yeah, no,
me saying it's
it
interesting.
it's so unknown that we can dream right now, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and that's the weird
And
thing about
that,
that forbidden door, man. Like it
yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean just wrestling in the professional sense. It can be in
yeah,
in the video game sense. I never even thought of that concept.
yeah. And that trailer for 2K, that those of you who did see it could see it, and those of you listening, go watch it because you can understand our disappointment. It showed me an updated 2K game, and that's what it showed me. And in 2 years, we kind of want it different,
Yeah,
not updated. Yeah, you had too much time to revamp this, and working on bugs for 2 years, but giving us the same old, and same old animations, and probably the same old commentating and all that other stuff. If I hear Michael Cole say the same six things in a match that I've been listening to since however long, I was like, "Dude, what were you doing for 2 years?
yeah. Where you just
Were
sitting
you
on your phone.
legit just working on bugs and figuring out what four GMs you should put in
Yeah,
GM mode? Because that's, yeah, I don't know, I don't know,
yeah. Well,
but yeah,
we'll see how it plays out, and hopefully, if there's a like a deep dive gameplay trailer, we'll cover it on there today as well. Um, but that's where we're gonna end it here. And as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, this is part two. Catch part one at Apron Work.
yes,
Our YouTube's always listed on below. We have audio stuff as well. You know, we're on all audio podcasts. That's episode 75. This is 75.2. Or if you want to do like whatever, like Kingdom Hearts stuff, is 75.8 final cut. Mickey is dead version. For all you Kingdom Hearts fans.
and
Uh,
for you Nerd a Day fans who don't know what apron work is,
yeah.
it is not a cooking podcast.
No. Well,
We don't talk about aprons.
you
Um,
never know.
it's the apron of a wrestling ring. It's
Yeah.
a wrestling podcast,
Yeah.
though.
I will
In case you didn't
boastfully
get that
say
connection,
we are the greatest Philadelphia based wrestling podcast. Don't look up the numbers.
yeah,
Don't look at Brotherly Love podcast. Just
uh,
it could be us.
it,
You never know. I said
it,
it, so it's true. You know what I
it's
mean?
like your favorite movie that gets 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
We are
Your
the
favorite movie.
unsung heroes. We are your favorite. You
Absolutely.
right there, who's
If you
watching this,
stayed this
your
whole
favorite.
hour and listened to us talk about WWE 2K, you do yourself a disservice if you do not subscribe, follow us, 5-star list on audio platforms for the wrestling side of my show. Follow us. It's always in the description, like I said, man. It's in my all links, in my link tree that's on this, all that stuff, Twitter, all that crap. Follow us.
Yeah.
Do the damn thing. And
Yes.
as I mentioned at the top of the show, I have something special. My episode 50 will be a live recording with the one and only CEO of Kind of Funny, Greg Miller. I think this is going to be episode 48, possibly 49. I forget my numbering, like we always do in the beginning of Apron Work podcast episodes. But yeah, episode 50 will be that 1 hour interview with Greg Miller about Superman, the impact Superman has had in our lives and in the world in general. That will stream live on twitch.tv/ kind of funny games. And that would be January 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after Games Daily. If you're a Kind of Funny fan, it's time. I'm gonna be in front of like at least 1,000 people, and then they'll probably peace out once I start nerding out about Superman and the fact that I named my son after Superboy. But yeah, follow here, follow there, watch me live, and comment. Tell me how awesome I am, or tell me I suck. It's fine.
I'll be there. You can insult me.
You're gonna wake
I'll
up.
be there watching.
It's
Yeah,
2
yeah.
p.m., man. You need sleep.
2 p.m. I'll be good. It's a Friday, right? And then if
Yeah,
I'm doing the
Friday.
math right, is it
Yeah,
28th?
it's the 20th.
Friday at 2 p.m. Everybody should be watching Friday 2 p.m.
There we go. All right. So for Nerd Day Podcast, peace.